Thila, we met doing a course together during the last MCO period. Was it MCO period? I can't remember. Had you
Yes.
lost your
Yeah,
job
yes.
at that point, or were you still working for the company?
I lost my job because at that time, I think we did our session towards the end of 2020. So I
Right.
lost my job in May 2020. Mhm.
Gosh, so pretty soon after everything started to sort of lock down.
Yes,
Okay. So can you take us
yes.
back a little bit to sort of what you were doing before the pandemic hit, and then what happened afterwards and as we went into our first lockdown?
Well, I was working for a company that does automation for aviation, and they had a factory in Malaysia. So I managed the factory, the HQ, as well as the airport automation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually their senior HR business partner, managing overall about nearly close to 200 employees based in Malaysia.
Wow.
And yeah, I think it just one day. I wouldn't say it's one day. And you know, at that time it was March when we sort of knew it was locked down, and
Mm-hmm.
aviation was the first to get hit.
Yes.
So we had to release about 80 people from the airport.
Right.
Yeah. So after that, they started, looking at how to cut in terms of the office environment. So my function went back to Australia because
Right.
we had a bigger team in Australia. So my
Okay.
function went back to Australia. So they took my function out. So yeah, I was made redundant then. Yeah.
When exactly was that?
May 2020.
I see. Okay.
So were
Mhm.
you, because you were in the industry that was hit the first, did you kind of have an inkling this was coming? Were you worried about it as it sort of crept towards that date?
To be honest, I already anticipated when we were about to release the number of people that we had in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of knew it was coming. It just didn't hit me that I would be the one to go first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so what was it like for you, sort of that day that you got told, the process you had to go through to kind of, I guess, understand what was happening, that you were now out of a job?
You see, I have personally done 7 retrenchments in my life. I
What?
have personally done 7 retrenchments. I
Does that
have
mean
26 years.
you've been retrenched 7 times?
No, I have conducted retrenchments
Right.
7
Oh,
times for companies that I've worked for. So I've done MSS, mutual separation schemes, retrenchments, layoffs. I've done everything. So to be actually in that spot where I am, you know,
on the
going through
receiving
it,
end. Yeah.
yeah, on the receiving end, yeah, it's definitely a very different feeling. Yeah, but I think at the same time, having that feeling, but of course, it's very new at that time. You know, with the MCO and everything, it's very fresh, it's very new, and I think overall, a lot of organizations were in a panic mode, so they decided to do a lot of retrenchment on the senior positions. So I'm not the only one. There were other seniors who were also retrenched.
Okay, I have
Um,
two questions for you first before we go any further. Number one, as someone who's facilitated 7 retrenchments and then been at the receiving end, what did you learn from a retrencher perspective after becoming a retrenchee?
that it's never any experience for both sides.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Could you say
it's
that again?
never
Sorry.
an
Sorry. That the connection was a bit
e-
bad just now.
sorry, it's never an easy experience on both ends. Yeah,
But you already
whether
knew
you are
that.
doing the retrenchment. Yeah,
But you
yeah.
already knew that. So I'm asking like what you learned that was new as a new perspective from being the one who was retrenched. Did you learn anything? Was anything surprising about that process?
What I learned, I would
Meaning,
say,
I guess I'm trying to ask you, like, if you ever had to retrench someone again after having been retrenched yourself, is there any,
mhm.
is there anything you'd learned from that process that you would, I guess, what am I trying to,
I
how do I
don't
phrase
know.
it? I guess it's like, if you've done something like retrenching someone for 7 times, you think you know how it's going to go. You think you've got all your bases covered. You think you're empathetic and sympathetic and compassionate and all the rest of it, but you've never been on the other side. Then when you go onto the other side and you're on the receiving end of that, is there anything you would learn from that experience as a
Right.
retrencher?
That means when the next time you have to retrench someone that you would do differently.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So the thing is, the 7 times I did it. Yeah, I did it with to them. Yeah. So and I did it differently. Yeah, I offered my help to these retrenchees by helping them to I sort of recommended them to job agencies. I helped them to review their CV. So these are things I did for them because I knew that was something that I could do for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did some referrals, like, whenever they had a job interview and they need reference, they can always reach out to me. Yeah. That was what I did. But during my time, it was different because I didn't have a boss here. My boss was in Australia.
Mm-mm.
So it was very different. So I was like, since you know this and you know what's happening, so there you go. Done. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so it was different. So I was like on my own.
So the next time, if you ever have to retrench someone, you would hopefully not have to go through what you went through. You want to walk them through better.
Absolutely, absolutely, because I've had that experience of walking through them for the past experiences, and I would definitely do it better because empathy is, having empathy and understanding people during current difficult times is important, as a HR especially. So, yeah.
So they did a rubbish job, basically.
Well, it's done over,
Yes.
and
Okay.
yeah.
Move on, right?
Move on.
Let's move
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess for people listening who have been retrenched, there are ways to be retrenched in a better way. So if
Yeah, less painful
less
way, I suppose,
painful
yeah.
way. So if it was awful, that's on the side of the retrencher, not
Yeah.
you. Yeah. If that's any
Not you.
consolation.
Absolutely, not you. Yeah.
So have you managed to procure a new project or a job? What's happening at the moment?
Well, I don't know. It's a mixed feeling. I'm excited and yes, at the same time. So what I'm doing is, of course, I'm trying to look for a right role. After being in the business for 26 years doing HR, purely HR, the next role, I just want it to be the perfect one. Maybe not perfect in a sense, but I think what's important is looking at who is my leader. That's important. Who am I going to be working with? That's important. What are the company that I'm going to be attached with? What are the values that they carry? How they treat their people? I guess these are all things that I review before I decide what is the next role that I want to take.
So I'm guessing you haven't found that?
No, I have not found
The one
the
yet.
right one. The one. I haven't found the one.
Yeah. Or the next
Yeah.
one.
So
the
what does that
next
mean? Are you not doing anything right now? Are you?
Okay. So what I'm doing is I've tried to pivot during this current time. So what I've done is I've used my experiences and I've been anyway coaching 500 HR practitioners on WhatsApps and Telegrams, giving them free advice for past 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
pro bono advice. And what I do is right now I'm coaching HR practitioners. If they're an executive now, if they're having challenges, they don't know a lot of things, they come to me, I support them. HR managers who are having challenges, I support them. I even support small companies with issues. Again, issues like how to do a proper retrenchment, how to do a proper layoff.
Right.
Yeah, and if they have a labor dispute, how do they deal with it? It's not that as if they don't have their own HR, but I think some of them are really consumed with their operational job. So they need someone like me, a third party who comes in and supports them. And, as I said, labor disputes are things that I've been doing for most of a lot of time in my life. So, so that's what I'm doing. So on and off, this is for the past months that I'm just supporting, helping, advising, and I'm also a mentor on the Malaysian HRFB forum, so where I give advice as well.
So you're sort of working on this avatar of the perfect boss that you want to work for. Do you not think that maybe you are the perfect boss
Yeah, I
that
was
you
just
want
thinking
to
about
work
that,
for? Like, why are you looking for a job when you can do all of this already?
I'm not perfect. I think what I'm trying to do is establish, this new pivoting that I'm doing, establishing it. And it's still young. It's about 3.5 months old business that I've started. The name of my company is People Synergy Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So you are. Okay.
So, okay,
Yeah.
you've got this. So, are you still then actively looking for another role whilst you're, you've got
Mentoring.
this mentoring and coaching business on the side, as it were? Are
Yes,
you still looking for another job? Okay.
yes, I am definitely looking for a job because, again, as I said, not established yet, slowly moving in, so still doing small here. As I said, I can't. I think one of the things is I can't keep quiet. I need to find a way to do things and keep moving. I think it's for everyone. I think losing a job is one, but then not doing anything about it is another. So
Okay, on that, right, not doing anything about it, what are you doing about it? So how have you been creating opportunities for yourself to either be found by the right boss or for you to find the right boss?
I have been very extroverted. I'm a very introverted person, yeah, but situational extrovert. So I'm really putting myself out there. So, I write daily on LinkedIn. Yeah, I share my experiences on LinkedIn. I put a lot of FB lives on the Malaysian HR FB forum. Why I just want to sort of create an awareness because even if, let's say, I'm not hired on a full-time basis, I know that they can come back to me whenever they have some issues and challenges. And let me tell you, one of the biggest challenges right now is everybody wants a quick fix, but
Mm,
nobody wants to look at the details. And similarly, as I said, initially when we started MCO, everybody was in a panic stricken. They removed all the senior people, and now they're struggling to try
right.
to gain. They need the knowledge, they need the expertise, and they're struggling. So yeah.
Right.
What did opportunities come around? I mean, like, did you apply for jobs and did opportunities come, but you said maybe not, or did you actually go for interviews?
I have actually gone for a few interviews. There was one that I actually turned down because I was mentoring that person, and they wanted the job was to work under that person. So I wasn't comfortable working for
Right.
someone that I was mentoring, as a coachee. And then after that, I had a few which were having issues with COVID with their employees in the organization because of COVID. They had a lot of challenges. So yeah, so I think overall and of course I've been also rejected. Yeah, I've also been rejected. My applications have been rejected, and but I think the way I do it is I also try to connect with the hiring managers, the job board, connect with them, talk to them, and not just simply send my CV through the system. Yeah.
I was going to say, how do you, and just be very careful of the clicking, but how do you handle the rejection?
Good question. Initially, when I was rejected, uh, it was not a good feeling because in my 26 years, I've never, as I said, it's always like when I'm in a job, someone headhunts me and then I move to the next. It's never been a space where I had to look for a job. It was always the job looking for me, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being in a situation where I've been rejected and during the worst time, it's not a good feeling. Absolutely. But I think if you surround yourself with positive people and sort of try to gain more energy and feeling better with that, I think that helps. To a certain extent, I look at rejection now as okay, fine, I'm rejected. Next, what do I do? Where can I improve? What can I do? What is it different that I need to do for this particular job? Yeah, so that's
So
how I look at it.
would you say that you sort of put a much more analytical, practical hat on looking at why it didn't work out as opposed to sort of feeling it? Is that what you're saying you're doing?
Yeah, I've stopped feeling because I think it's tiring at times.
Yeah.
It's tiring,
It's
seriously.
exhausting to take something
Yes,
personally. You're
yes,
right. When
yes,
it's always
it is.
personal, it's just, yeah,
Yeah,
it's your energy that's going, right?
But
absolutely,
still,
absolutely.
you sound like you have a nice little buffer right now where you can pick and choose which projects you want to take
Mm.
on. But at what point are you gonna go? Okay, I need a job like right now. Are you just gonna just take any job, or are you even gonna take like something that's out of your field?
Well, a lot of things that I'm doing right now is sort of out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it. Yeah. But as I say, at the end of the day, my subject matter is HR, organization development, organization behavior. So anything that's within that paternity I take on. So right now I also have speaking engagement that comes in, which I also do.
So you never become a chef or something, lah?
So Jenny's
Chef.
asking if you jump, if you would consider like a completely different industry or arena.
Chef. Well,
Doesn't have to be chef, anything,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically everything that isn't HR. Would you consider that a different field, going back to uni to learn something? I mean, something different completely. Would you consider that as an option that you have right now?
Yes, definitely. I've just finished my choice theory reality therapy sessions, counseling. It's becoming a counselor.
Oh,
Totally
okay.
different field from being a HR. So I've just done first stage of that particular sessions, and it's through William Glasner's organization. He was a psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
so that is an avenue that I'm also looking at, because I think there's one part where the counselor in me comes out at times, right? So yeah,
Right.
that's the other focus I have. Yes,
I
absolutely.
love that. So basically, that's sort of transposing a skill you already have, HR, to a different arena where you're kind of facilitating a one-on-one contact with a person's well-being also. I like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
But we don't know when this is gonna end. We sometimes, like, jobs are out there. Actually, I look at job vacancies out there. There's like a ton of jobs, but still people are not hiring. I don't know what's
Unemployed.
going on.
Yeah.
So how do you, when things like that go on for indefinitely, how do you keep like motivated? How do you keep going?
Well, I think what's important is to focus on what you can do and what you need. I think this is very important. I think most of the time we keep having casting a wide net out there, thinking we want everything and we're not going to get it. Yeah, and I know I've done that before when I initially started doing small businesses, thinking that maybe this will work, but that will work. So I think right now I've just focused it down to what are the things that I'm looking for
Hmm.
in an organization, in a leader, and I
But
think I
what's
focus on that.
motivating you? What's the motivation? Because you kind of know what you're looking for. You have your wish list or whatever. But I think what Judy and I would love to know is, like, what's motivating you to move past that rejection, to be curious about the rejection? What's motivating you to keep on applying, to keep on looking?
My family, my daughter. I have a 13-year-old, and I've promised her that I'll ensure that her education is taken care of. So I think she's one of my biggest motivators. Yeah.
Right.
How's she handling it?
How's she handling it? A little bit better, I guess. In her situation, she's 13. She sort of understands what's going on right now. Of course, previously I was never at home a lot. Now I think she cherishes the fact that I'm at home a lot. And of course, as JD was saying, I cook a lot as well. So I've become a chef.
But not paid. You're not
Oh my
paid.
God.
That doesn't count.
No, I asked only because I think it's in a weird way. I think it's a good thing that sometimes things like this happen, because the young sees, like, you know what? Well, jobs are not easy to get. Jobs are not easy to keep. I think we need to work hard at it. And I see mommy working so hard and stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah,
what? You get a really good boss, hopefully.
Yeah. Or you might actually just give up the ghost and stop pretending to look for a
Be the
boss and
boss.
be the boss. Exactly. Yes, we really want to see you doing that. So thank you so much, Thila.